Ciao, what's going on? It's your boy Darren Green back with another one of these episodes. Big ups to my listeners at We Are You Radio and to my listeners on the audio podcast, video podcast, all around the world. Honey, y'all are the best. I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking the time out your day to listen to this show. And I promise you I'll give you a good one because we do got some good topics that I want to get into. Before we do that, though, I got to talk about my life, honey. I guess we could continue this conversation because I talked about it last week. I did put him at 2 weeks. Okay, I found me another job, and I got a new offer, and I'm moving on. Thank goodness. And that's basically where we're at today. Okay, I was talking about this with my best friend, and I talked about how I was kind of nervous to make that big announcement to let them know that I'll be putting him at 2 weeks. And I was saying how that's kind of like a trauma response for me. And it's like, I'm so worried or not worried, girl. I ain't worried about nobody. But I do have this thing where I don't want to, piss nobody off or disappoint anybody because, this is a small branch and people are already leaving and I'm adding on to the people that's leaving. So, it was very nerve wracking just to let that be known. But once I let it be known, I felt like I already worked the last 2 weeks and I'm done. It felt like I ain't had to work no more, child. It felt a sense of peace and just what you call just reassurance, not reassurance, but I'm always getting the words wrong. Just clarity, and the fact that I don't have to work here anymore. And it really was nerve-wracking to be here. And it's not because of the people that I work with or anything like that, the company, whatever, this, that, and the third. It's just, it was a lot. It was a lot. Let me tell you something. You want to work at a bank, make sure that's for you, okay? It's one thing to be good with finance, to know how to do finances and stuff like that and be a financial advisor, whatever the case is. But when you're actually in it and you have to deal with people of all walks of life sometimes, it is very taxing on your mental health. And even my friends were telling me they notice a change. And it's just I see it too. And I feel like this is kind of hindering me. It makes no sense. I'm here for a year and we're still 20-hour. I'm still working 20-hour. What am I? I'm making peanuts. And it's one thing, girl, I'm going through all this anguish and distress for 20 hours a week. Okay. No, we getting out of here. I had to move on, and I'm happy that I made that decision and I have a new offer. So hopefully this job works, on to the next, and we'll see how that goes. Now, also, I'm kind of happy today because I got a haircut. I know y'all been seeing me, if y'all been seeing me on YouTube, child, these past couple videos, I've been looking real woofy, but I got my little haircut done, honey. I got a little bit of edges too. I'm like, girl, why she gave me edges, honey? But I got edges, honey. I got to lay them down. And I also got this shirt that came in from the TikTok shop. Shout out to the person that made it. Because this is I'm not saying this is hand, but this is definitely pressed. But this is Nicki Minaj and all of her albums and mixtapes. And then it also has her signature, a copy of her signature, of course. She ain't signed it. But I think this is a cool shirt. This is going to be one of the shirts that I'm going to be wearing for my 2-day Nicki Minaj concert. Girl, I'm going for 2 days, honey. Shout out to my girl that treated me to the Philly show, and I'm going to see the Newark show the day before with my best friend. That's happening at the end of this month. So I'm going to be taking some pictures. There's going to be a photo bond coming out soon, okay? And I can't wait to see what she has to offer. She's doing a good job. I think she recently was doing the Rolling Loud show, and when I tell you, giving a stage presence, rapping, she does a good show. A lot of people like to sit there and say, oh, well, she doesn't have good stage presence no more. Not back in the day. Nah, it's giving back in the day. But anyway, that's enough about that. We got to get into what we got to get into. We got to talk about Don Lemon, okay, in his interview with Elon Musk. We'll talk more about that. We'll also talk about the House approving the TikTok ban. Okay. There's some more stuff I want to get into with that. We'll talk about Porsha Williams and Nene leaks. They're at odds. And then we'll get into the news and music portion of the show. All that and more coming up now on The Darren Green Show. All right. Now, the first topic I want to get into is none other than Don Lemon. Here's the thing. Don Lemon visits CNN. and I already see this comment right here, being interviewed on the same network you were fired from and won the lawsuit against, is a serious flex. Don Lemon is a legend. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if you didn't like what he used to say before. He said something mean to something. I don't care. Okay. This is like the clapback king. He definitely bounces back. Okay. And unbothered. Like, cause I got some videos of him, they seen him on the street and he talked about the whole Elon Musk situation unbothered. Like, I don't care. Like, I actually want to have another conversation with him. Like, he's not discouraged and I love his spirit. Okay. I mean, you would have that spirit too if you won a lawsuit against CNN, girl. And I heard he got big bucks. I think I want to say almost 24 mil. Okay. Let's be very clear. Don't quote me on that though. If you saw my YouTube video earlier this week, we talked about how Don Lemon claimed that Elon Musk kicked him off of his TikTok partnership because of a tense interview. Okay. Now here's the tense interview in question.
Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats? I don't have to answer these questions. The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
How much does he stand by these ideas?
Well, he didn't quite seem to understand that he did, originally he did that with Jewish people, sort of a Great Replacement Theory thing that he did with Jewish people, and he got in trouble and he had to go to Auschwitz and answer questions and apologize and go with Ben Shapiro. But he doesn't understand that sort of rhetoric that he talks about, the Great Replacement Theory and a migrant invasion, that's what radicalized shooters use in their manifestos, exactly. Those exact words. The people who go and shoot up people, whether they be Latino people who live in Texas or black people who are in a supermarket in Buffalo or Jewish people who are worshiping, those people use the same rhetoric, that they are tropes, that they're either racist for Latinos or black people or for Jewish people. And I wanted to know if he felt any responsibility.
Here's the thing with the whole situation. I think that some of the questions that he was asking were valid. And I think that Elon is being a little sensitive prick. Sorry, not sorry. But for someone who prides himself, on free speech, saying what it is, saying what you want, but not at the expense of me. I mean, completely hypocritical. Like, completely hypocritical. And what Don Lemon said was correct. These are the types of talking points, right? Because we're talking about not just him allowing this type of rhetoric to be, plowed on social media, because people are going to say what they're going to say on any platform. It's up to the social media, the actual platform, to censor them. I mean, I know there's some apps that do, others don't, right? But it's the fact that you have tweets that talked about the Great Replacement Theory. Some of the talking points are the same talking points as active shooters and people that had, like he said, the manifestos of going out to wherever, black, Latin, gay, whatever, and doing bodily harm to people because of the belief system that you have. So I think that, Elon is a big influence and he should use his platform, his money, whatever. Well, I wouldn't even say money. We don't want your money. I don't care about that. But your platform, at least, to use it responsibly. I think that was the question there. In retrospect, man, maybe Elon got a little offended. He's like, look, I'm not answering this question. This has nothing to do with nothing. I don't care. He's looking at it as this is just another way of people criticizing me. I'm the reason of all situations, and anytime that there's the active shooter is because of me. So I'm thinking his mindset is like that. But no, I mean, like many celebrities, y'all have influence, in the things that you say, there's ramifications for it, and I think that's what Don Lemon was trying to say here. And the fact that the response was, well, we don't want to partner with you no more, which if I was Don, I would never went with this. But I mean, I'm kind of seeing his vision. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But I wouldn't have gotten into this. This is not a platform for him. I mean, we know that Don Lemon is on the liberal side. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how many comments is on my Instagram page. Elon Musk is a conservative. I don't care how much he wants to sit there and say he's a centrist. I mean, he talks about the great replacement theory. I mean, he reposted a picture of some type of statistic of like the American births versus illegal immigrants coming into the country. I mean, he supports Trump. I mean, somewhere even in that video, in the interview, because it was talked about, Trump visited him or something like that. And I guess Don Lemon was asking his relationship with Trump and he was being all nonchalant about it. I'm like, bro, you support Trump. You support Trump. Let's be very clear. I mean, just because you're not a bona fide supporter, like you're not putting money to his campaign or anything like that, you support him in some type of way. Let's be very clear. What I liked about this whole interaction, people are really starting to see the dark side of Elon. Okay, because I want to say that his mask kind of came off with this interview. Like his little snarky remarks, like, I don't have to respond to reporters. I came here because you asked me to be here. And my thing is this: do we not talk to our publicists no more? Do we not? I mean, are we not telling them, hey, I don't want him asking this. I don't want him talking about that. Like, you honestly expected Don Lemon, okay, to take it easy on you when he has never taken it easy on anybody? Come on. Let's be so absolutely for real. At first I said this wasn't like a good idea for Don because now Elon probably can pull some strings so he doesn't get a deal nowhere else. But honestly, I think Don is a genius when you think about it a little bit harder. Like, you got a partnership with X, and in your first episode, you get kicked off the platform because of a tense interview with the owner of the app. Okay, and now everybody's gonna watch it. Let's be very clear. Everybody's watching this interview because they want to know what was the holdup? What did he ask? So that's really gonna give him some numbers. I can't wait to see how it plays out. It is gonna come out Monday, which is today because we dropped the episode today. So I will be following up on it. But I love what's going on. Don, let me tell you something. In the way when he was like asked, because I guess there was some paparazzis asking him some questions or whatever. Very unbothered, very like, at the end of the day, I still could have a conversation with him and I'm good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I believe he's going to put this on YouTube and he might just be an independent, which I think if you have a platform for it is really profitable. I mean, like, you don't have to worry about nobody messing up with your check or anything like that and nobody docking nothing. And you essentially profit from your own platform when you're independent. I think being an independent person is cool when you got a platform. Okay. When you don't, honey, you are fighting against your content is fighting up against the other contents that have the backing and the promotions and all that other stuff. But I think he will do fine because a lot of people really do love Don Lemon. Like, even my grandma know who he is. Okay, she used to watch a lot of his clips and stuff like that. So shout out to Don Lemon and Elon Musk. Anyway, let's move on. I did want to talk about TikTok. Yeah, we got to get into TikTok. And I know I talked about this last week, but I'm going to talk about it again. Okay, because the House approved the bill. Okay, they approved the bill that could potentially ban TikTok in the U.S. Let me get into the facts and I'm going to tell you my feelings, okay? Now, the House of Representatives have passed a bill that could ban TikTok in the United States, but despite some support, it also has sparked some strong opposition from users of the popular social media platform. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act would require its Chinese partner ByteDance to sell TikTok within 6 months or being banned from the U.S. app stores and web hosting services. Now, the measure reportedly passed with 352 in favor and 65 that oppose, underscoring its broad bipartisan support, right? In addition, 197 Republicans and 155 Democrats voted to approve it, okay? As of right now, the Senate needs to make their decision and then Biden will have the final say. But Biden said that he'll sign it. It's all on the Senate now, right? The Senate has to make their decision. If they pass it, then Biden going to pass it, and then it's over. TikTok is going to be banned if ByteDance doesn't sell the app. Here's my thoughts, right? Another reason why I wanted to talk about this, because there was a TikTok creator by the name of Jasmine Garden. She brought everything to perspective. She made me think like, wow, okay, I didn't ever thought about it like that. So I'm gonna paraphrase it, but I definitely want y'all to go watch it. Her name is Jasmine Garden, and she's on TikTok. Shout out to her, because she had a good take, honey. She had a good take. I got to share a little bit of it. But she basically said, we did something that actually worked. Okay, think about Starbucks, think about Kellogg's, and all the companies that we boycotted with the whole conflict between Palestine and Israel, right? Because these companies supported Israel. And also the list of companies that we said we were going to boycott, right? She said that we stopped trying to eat the rich. We actually started to starve them. We started to figure out ways to put dents in the system. And the companies peep game. They peep game, and they lobbied this bill into existence. These companies and CEOs alike, okay, they're on these politicians' payrolls. Let's keep it a buck, okay? They're paying these politicians, okay, to do whatever, make whatever they want. Companies are applying pressure to these politicians, and the politicians are applying pressure to the bill, and that's exactly what is happening. This has never been about national security. They like to think that it is. The news likes to promote it. They even got celebrities on their payroll. I mean, it was never about China trying to get us, okay? And what this situation showed was that these politicians do not have our best interests, okay? They have the best interests in the people that are paying them. Now, Jasmine also brought up the fact of the rise of the TikTok shop, where people were able to gain immense amount of platform, you know, just with their small businesses overnight. And she said in the end of it, we started to form our own community outside of the government, and the government sees that and it scares them. So what they're gonna do now? Jam our communication. We already have people that's trying to buy TikTok. These, I think this one person, Steven Muchin or whatever, a known Zionist. Okay, he wants to buy TikTok and change the algorithm. Okay, he said it himself. He said TikTok needs to be resetted, or whatever he said. It was to the fact of TikTok's algorithm needs to be cleaned. It needs to change into whatever image that he wants it to be in. So at this point, it's like pick your poison. Either TikTok is going to get banned and we'll never see it again, or they sell TikTok and it gets put into, it's an American company now, and we'll slowly watch it turn into Instagram. No shade. So it's like, it's really nothing that we can do. We can't beat the inevitable. TikTok is going to die, or what it was, what it meant, what it stood for. It's not going to be anymore. And it was a way for people that had smaller brands to get noticed. And we talked about this last episode on how, you know, small creatives or businesses were able to get platformed with the smallest amount of followers. You can't get that nowhere else. It's unfortunate. And at the end of the day, I don't have a dog in this fight. A lot of us don't, right? But if this ban goes into effect, I believe that it will not stop here. Okay, it's a slippery slope. And look, that's all I got for my little conspiracy. That's my conspiracy. It is what it is. I think that they're not going to stop here. They're going to find new ways to, you know, repress us. This is cutting off our communication with each other, because you really don't get a sense of community no more with the other apps. Like, social media used to be that way. It used to be communal in that way. Like, you know, people will post stuff, and then you'll see it. People will post a lot of different things. When I'm on Instagram, it's more, and maybe it's just because I'm a creator, but it feels more transactional. Like, okay, I make this post here, I make that post there. I can't not post for the next 5 days, or they're gonna shadow ban me. So I gotta make like stupid posts just so I can feed the algorithm. And then even if I do that, they'll still not give me any type of, you know, insight or engagement or anything like that. And the people that follow you never really see what you're posting. Your goal is to have people that don't follow you watch your stuff. It makes no sense. And it's like that on YouTube too. I don't care what they got to say. I don't care what they're going to shadow ban me. They already have shadow ban me. But I don't want to go too far in, child. Let's move on. Okay. Now, the next topic I want to get into is none other than Nene Leakes. Girl. She's saying that Porsha done tried to stop her bag, or she stopped her, whatever the case is. Well, Nene Leakes says Porsha Williams told production that she refused to work with Nene. Now, this is what Nene had to say.
A disappointing video, but nonetheless, Here goes. So earlier this week, I was told by my management company that the Netflix scripted series called The Upshaws were interested in casting me for a part. They told me that Porsha William Gubadia was also playing in this particular series. She would be side by side with me. Excited. I haven't seen Porsha. We always have a good laugh when we see each other. So I was just like, okay, so me and Porsha are going to kill this part. They told me we were going to be having rehearsal. At rehearsal, I didn't see Porsha. There was a stand-in. We broke for lunch. We came back. We were going to do a whole run-through. I still didn't see Porsha. I was later told that Porsha did not show up to work and had said that she did not want to work with me, that we had issues from the past, and she did not want to work with me.
And we'll stop there because she goes into her relationship with Porsha. We ain't got to get into that, child. Because we already know the relationship with you and Porsha. Okay, y'all was on TV together. Now, I thought it was not for nothing, right? Because I'm always saying this to my best friend. I'm always saying this, period. Porsha be acting dumb. And I still think she does that. I still think that she acts dumb. But in this case, girl, you really dumb. How are you going to stop your own bag because you don't want to work with somebody? Or whatever the case is, some old beef that y'all had in the past. Like, that was just... I mean, I get it. You want to stand on business, but that's some dumb business that you're standing on, honestly. And I had a little running theory. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe because Porsha's an active Bravo celebrity right now. She's coming back on Housewives of Atlanta. Maybe Bravo or Andy or somebody put it in her ear like, hey, we don't want to associate with Nene, so you can't work with her. That's part of our clause or whatever the case is. Some backhanded stuff behind closed doors. Because it really didn't make any sense. It was out of the blue. Porsha and Nene have hung out since they've both been off the show. I mean... I think Nene also talked about how maybe it could have been because Nene didn't reach out to Porsha with this whole divorce situation with Simon or whatever. I don't think that's the case, but if it is, Porsha, shame on you, okay? Because Nene has always been a major support system throughout all of your stupid life decisions. So for you to sit there and not want to work with her because of whatever, I mean... Girl, who are you? You ain't Hollywood. Well, I guess she was acting Hollywood a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I thought that was very weird. Porsha didn't make a response. I don't know. By the time we get to posting this video, she might. But she hasn't made a response. I think she posted some pictures or whatever, I guess, to show that she's unbothered. But I think that is kind of messed up that she did that to Nene. And Nene really wanted to work with her, whatever. I mean, she ended up working with Cynthia, so I guess it all worked out in the end. But that wouldn't be me, honey. I will fake it till I make it. I'm getting on this show. I'm getting my little bag. Even if I got to work with somebody I don't want to work with, girl, we'll do this little clip for however long it's going to take, and we going to go home. Like, Porsha, girl, I thought that was very funny. But it could be one-sided. We don't know Porsha's side of the story. And we don't even know if the production team was being shady and being like, oh, and making stuff up. But you know how they go. You know how it gets. Okay, it gets real shady and Hollyweird. Not too much on this topic, so I'm going to just move on. All right, let's get into our news and music portion of the show. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about my girl, Meg Thee Stallion. So Megan announced on all of her social platforms that she will be going on a hot girl summer tour. Okay. And this is kind of a world tour because she has a lot of European dates. Like I see London, Paris, Manchester. Like this is kind of a world tour, honestly. A little piece of a world tour. And people were talking about it. They were saying, oh, well, she ain't got no album. Like, why would she do a tour without an album? And I think this is different, but we're in different times. Like, albums are not, it doesn't mean that you need to go on tour. You just have to have a lot of hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to keep people engaged and actually sell tickets. Meg Thee Stallion, despite having like low selling albums, and I got to keep it real, she has low selling albums, but she has a lot of hit songs. She does have a good catalog on her to do a tour. And if it's not for the music, people really do watch Megan perform. She's a good performer. Okay, she definitely can get the people hype. So the fact that she's doing this is very interesting. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Am I gonna go? I mean, she do got some Philly dates. I'm gonna see what my mutual's doing, because I know we did talk about wanting to go to see a Meg Thee Stallion tour. So I don't know. And maybe in the mix of this, she is going to drop an album, because she has been, teasing some stuff with snakes and stuff. I guess that's her new theme or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, let's move on. J-Lo. Okay, I want to talk about J-Lo because, girl, speaking of tours, they said J-Lo canceled 7 tour dates because of low ticket sales. J-Lo, low ticket sales? Like, that shocked me. I'm not going to lie. So let me read this excerpt. Now, they said Jennifer Lopez had to cancel 7 shows from her highly anticipated North American tour, okay, which was set to support her latest album, This Is Me Now, alongside 2 companion films, okay? The cancellations affect concerts scheduled between August 20th and the 31st in cities including Cleveland, Nashville, Atlanta, Tampa, New Orleans, and Houston, okay? Now, these updates were made on Ticketmaster, where the Cleveland and Houston dates were notably absent, have been part of an original tour announcement on February 24th, but subsequently was removed. Now, a glance at Ticketmaster seating charts for the tour showed a significant number of tickets remaining available, with the blue arenas indicating available seats far outnumbering the gray, okay? And marking sold out sections, this observation suggests that there were lower ticket demand. Okay. As of right now, representative from Lopez has not provided any comments regarding the cancellations. Ticket holders received a notice stating that unfortunately the event organizer had to cancel your event. No action required to obtain a refund. Well, it's a good thing they didn't show up and then they canceled. Because see, I heard once you show up to the concert, and let me just knock on wood to both of my, concerts for Nicki. I don't think she's gonna cancel. I don't believe she is. We going in important cities. Once you show up, you don't get your money back because you technically went to the concert, even though she wasn't there. So I mean, it's a good thing that these people got their money back. But Lord, 7 shows? What are we not doing? I mean, girl, and I've seen some of the stuff, some of the perform. I mean, she does keep, she's moving around. I don't know how things are vocally, but she does seem like she's entertaining. And my thing is this, but what type of arenas were you going in? Because I'm not saying she need to be performing at no dive-in or something like that. But honey, could you fill a Wells Fargo Center? Prudential? I don't think anymore, honey. You've been doing movies. It's been a minute since you've been in the music game, okay? And people, I didn't even know she came out with an album. Didn't even know. I thought she was promoting movies. This Me Now or whatever it is. I thought that was a movie. Like, I don't know, honey, but we will definitely talk more about that later, honey. I will definitely keep you posted on this situation. Now, let's move on again. Now I do want to talk about Cardi, okay? Because she just dropped Enough, okay? And I will say, look, let me tell you something. I give props when it's due. So before y'all sit there and call me a flip-flopper, listen up, okay? This is definitely a big improvement. It definitely has some memorable lines, okay? The part where she was like, me versus you, you know who they picking, okay? I love the video, the looks like the little emotes and stuff like that. This is good. This is, and I love the fact that she talked about it also. And she said, I'm looking at the numbers. I don't care about Billboard numbers anymore because at the end of the day, people were really listening to my other song. Now, like the like wasn't, now I don't like what, like honestly, I ain't like that song. But she talked about how like it really went viral on social media. People are posting about it. So that really all is that matters. I felt for her with that. I understand how it's like, you know what? I don't care. I reached the people that I reached at this point. And I think all creatives, all musicians should be like that now because there is like some type of a decline in when it comes to, people viewing or people or not, well, it's never the people, but I'm just saying, like, you know, just how numbers work. I think that a lot of creators should have that mentality of like, my content reached the people that it reached, and that's all that matters. I'm like that with this podcast. Look, I don't care if I don't get 1 million, 1 billion views and 1,000 likes and all that other stuff. I'm glad that it reached the people that it reached. Okay, so for that, I will say shout out to Cardi B. She also had a conversation too, talking about going 50-50 now. Girl, why y'all was coming for her for this? Because she's saying people, you know, I stopped being a feminist because you girls are unrealistic when it comes to the whole 50-50 thing. I'm not wanting to do split the bills. You know, some people was in the comments talking about her like, girl, how you definitely married a millionaire or a person that's rich and y'all going 50-50. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, that is your prerogative. And I think half of the people that's in the working class, y'all splitting 50-50. People that I know that are married, people that are actually married and not just on a podcast talking about how you're not going to find love, whatever. People that are actually married, they split 50-50. It's a real thing. And I think that people are just caught up in these little podcasts and these high value men, high value women. Oh, men got to pay for everything and women and all this other stuff. Y'all are stuck in that mindset, and that's where y'all will stay by yourselves. I agree with Cardi B on that conversation as well. And, you know, it is what it is. Now, that is it for the news and music. Okay. Let's move on to the honorable mentions because we do have a couple of topics that I want to get into. Now, Lil Mama, honey, we can't keep doing this, honey. So Lil Mama revisits her infamous crashing of the Jay-Z and Alicia Keys VMA performance. Okay, take a look at this.
It's laugh and joke about it, but like, how did you? Do you remember how you dealt with that? Because I know that had to hurt. Like you said, you was embarrassed.
Yeah. In the beginning, I was hurt. Tyrese called my phone as soon as I got home. He was like, "Yo," playing, and then when that ass was on there going, "Ah." Nah, let me stop. But no, seriously. Tyrese had hit my phone. He was like, bro, you ain't tell me you was performing. First of all, my heart is racing. I'm already mad embarrassed. I'm like, you crazy, Ty. Why would you say something like that? Performing. That's crazy. You saw me perform?
Funny as shit.
So like, I had to deal with him. And then I had to deal with like hearing like at Love on the radio in the morning, Wendy Williams, eventually Angie Martinez, who she talked to Jay, and he was just like, yeah, you know, I didn't like it and everything, and you know, and he was so angry, and I was just trying my best to do everything I could. After a while, I was like, forgive yourself, bro. Forgive yourself. Move forward.
That ain't make you depressed or nothing?
Bro, I was hurt. I was depressed. I was like, yo, what's going on? And then you got everybody telling you, like, you doing bad. People pointing at you like, what did you do?
Thing is this, she talked about how, like, Jay-Z didn't call her. They didn't reach out to her. I'm like, girl, why you thought they was going to reach out to you? You disrupted their performance. Girl, and my thing is this. Why is this all of a sudden a topic that you're discussing? You know, this seemed to have never bothered you. I mean, you made your little apology tour. You did all that, and then you disappeared into whatever. And girl, now you getting into interviews talking about, oh my goodness, this. And then there was another interview before where she talked about like how this kind of blackballed my career, kind of insinuating that Jay-Z kind of blackballed her or whatever. And she's like, girl, you didn't get blackballed, honey. Nobody was checking for you after I was about to say chicken noodle soup. Nobody was checking for you after my lip gloss is popping. Let's be very clear. You had some bops after that, but girl, you blackballed yourself, honey. Like, girl, I mean, and it's not even you got blackballed from that performance or getting on stage. It's just like nobody was checking for you. Like, that should have been your intro into acting. Like, honestly, like, and she did do some acting roles, but you know, I don't know, child. Tell me what y'all think about it in the comments. We got a little bit more quick news to get into. Now, Billy Porter. Okay. Now, Billy Porter is speaking out about how the actor strike devastated him. Okay. In a new interview with The Guardian, Billy Porter says those friends, people are making $100 million a year. I'm getting 6 cents. Okay. It's not okay. Now, Porter described himself as one of the extremely blessed ones who was able to generate income through other means. This sounds like a person that really did not participate in this strike and really cared less about it, but was like, you know what, fine. I'm gonna go along with it because y'all not finna blackball me because there was gonna be actors that got blackballed if they didn't stand in solidarity. But you just wanted to mention that you made you had other means of finances. Okay, with your man. Ooh, let me stop, child. I almost had a Shangela moment. Who said I had a sugar daddy? Because clearly that man left you, child. Okay, Billy. I mean, sure. Okay. Shout out to you. Good for you. you found a way. And yes, the actor strike was a time. A lot of them actors weren't making money, and they were trying to, make change because at the end of the day, they weren't making money. Like, there were articles before the situation even happened that there, like, people like Zendaya were having hardships because she wasn't making the income to sustain her lifestyle. It's quite now. I don't know how she is financially now because she seemed to be doing well, but the fact that even was a topic, it should know that there is a problem. Y'all not getting paid. Okay, which y'all should be getting paid. So, Billy, good for you. Anyway, let's move on. What else I wanted to talk about? Girl, I wanted to put this on the news and music, but I'm just like, why? Like, why? So basically, Aiden Ross, this streamer child, he gets on his platform and to talk about how, I slept with I slept with Sexy Red or whatever, just gloating at the fact of that. And then she made a response, talk about you paid me to take your virginity and I did just that next. Oh, girl. Now she gonna sit there and say, oh no, psych, I couldn't. She said, psych, nah, you couldn't touch me and then she said in a response, like, psych, nah, you couldn't touch me with a stick. I'm like, girl, this is stupid. This was a stupid ass topic, but I did want to talk about it for a little bit. Is there anything else I want to get into? No, I think that's it, honey. I think we talked enough this episode, okay? Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Big ups to my listeners at We Are You Radio. Big ups to the listeners all around the world, whether that's on YouTube, audio podcasting, or wherever you get your podcasting. Thank you so much for listening. And I will get back with you on the next episode. See you soon.